Hello, everyone. Welcome to TACoS Tuesday, typically at 10. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I ran into work because I was having internet issues at home. So, yeah, this is the new little studio setup that we have here at Helium 10. I'll be doing a lot of new pro trainings for our new PPC platform, Adtomic, that I'm sure many of you by now have heard of. If not, you might have seen an email that went out today about it. And so in today's session, I'm just going to be doing a demo, just an overview of the new platform, and then taking your questions on maybe what the differences are. I will focus on what the differences are between ads and the new version of the PPC platform. And then subsequently, for the rest of this month, we're going to be doing episodes specifically on Adtomic as well. Next week in particular, we will be having an actual official launch party announcement versus our soft launch, which happened last week. And then I'll be doing some in-depth trainings on Adtomic in the following 2 weeks. So you're going to get a whole month of me, and I hope that you are ready for that. I hope I'm ready for that. So I think we're seen everywhere right now. I think LinkedIn might be down. So if you guys are watching us from Facebook or YouTube, let us know. Let us know where you guys are checking in from. And hey, Manny, how are you doing? And we just always like to see where people are tuning in from, around the world. And Lisa's on Facebook. Jake's on Facebook as well. And if you guys have any particular questions, what I typically do is start with the topic, go through some screens, some slides, talking about a feature, so maybe something new from Amazon typically. But like I said, I'm going to go through the demo. And typically what we do is go through a certain amount of information, and then I take questions. But oh wow, we got Michigan in the house, South Carolina, Germany, Pakistan. Good to see you guys. All the way from China. Yeah, sorry it's so late there, but thank you for joining us, Peter. So in this session, I want you guys to feel free to ask questions as I go along versus just waiting, and I'll try to look over at the comments. As you can see in this setup, my screen is actually over to my right instead of just in front of me usually. So I will be looking over this way a lot, but I promise you I am paying attention. Manchester, UK. That's my old stomping grounds. Well, I used to live in England, so close. So let's get into it. We're going to just go right into Project X, which is Bradley's account, and just take a look at some of the updates that we've done to our PPC platform ads. As many of you know, or may not know, we purchased or acquired Pressizon, which was another, it still is a PPC platform in the space. And we have been integrating their tool over the past 6 months into ads. And so Adtomic is the combination of those two platforms. There is still more to come with that integration, but right now we're really excited to share what we've accomplished so far and some of the updates that have been made to the previous PPC platform. So let's go ahead and share the, I think I'm on the analytics page there in Adtomic. Great. And let's see. Actually, you know what? I'll start with the dashboard, just so you guys know and can see that it's not really any different. So if you had access to ads previously, then you will recognize this dashboard. The analytics page is exactly the same as well. All the functionalities still really work the same as ads did. So the only real area where you're going to see a dramatic difference is on the ad manager page as well as the suggestions page. Everything else functionality wise here works the same. So if you are in the ad manager, and especially if you are used to adding campaigns, that is the first major difference that you're going to see here is once you do click on that add campaign button, that we've actually created a couple builders for you guys. So instead of just the single form that used to pop up when you clicked on that button, we've actually given you guys the ability to just either choose a really quick way to create your campaigns or a more guided version. To answer your question, Manny, I don't want to grow a business. I'm more focused on profit. Is it okay, therefore, to pause PPC sometimes without losing too much of organic rank? All right, that's not really an atomic question, but if you don't want to grow the business, I am more focused on profit. Is it okay, therefore, to pause PPC sometimes without losing too much organic rank? That's something you'll have to test. Sometimes you can get away with, if you're a brand new product, your PPC does help you with the organic rank because you're going to get sales on particular keywords that you might not have gotten organically. So you'll have to test that out. But you should want to make some profit on at least, you shouldn't want to make profit on your PPC. Maybe that's what you're saying. PPC is for data collection and branding. Jax asks, is this available for Platinum? No, it's available for Diamond and Elite. You can, however, at Platinum level, if you're connected, you see all this information. So you'll see all your dashboard information here, and you will see all your analytics information too. There is a pro training video available here. If you click on this learn button, that lets you know all the cool things that you can do at Platinum with access to all of this information. So even though it's read only and you don't have access to these other sections of Adtomic, you still do get very, very powerful overviews, high level overviews of how the tool or how your data, how your PPC data looks. So it looks like Abdul has a question about Campaign Builder. So how do you apply the one campaign to one ASIN by keyword volume concept you recommended in the Adtomic platform? So this comes up quite a bit, and I think this, what you might be saying, Abdul, is when you're launching campaigns, then what you want to do when you're doing a keyword research, if you're doing in-depth keyword research, then you want to build the campaigns that way. So you just want to make sure you're putting particular search volumes together in a campaign. And I can show you how to do that within Adtomic in a second. The confusing part is, I believe, when keywords start getting moved, when keywords start getting promoted from, let's say, an auto campaign to the research or to the performance campaign, that users are like, oh, wait a second, but these search volumes are different. Yes, that's true. But the whole search volume campaign structure concept is to make sure that the keywords are getting impressions, right? If we're promoting keywords from one campaign to another, those keywords have already gotten impressions. You've got data. So at that point, you're not concerned about the keywords that are being promoted, the search volumes. You are trying to structure the campaign by search volume to get those keywords impressions. So I hope that makes sense, Abdul. If not, then just do a follow-up question. But let's go ahead and go back to the campaign builder. So real quick, one distinction that I definitely want to make is that the quick builder is, it is super quick. You don't have to make a lot of choices on it, but it is reliant 100% on the auto campaign. So I mean, you can, if I would have clicked on the learn button in the previous step, it would say that, but effectively the quick builder, it relies on the auto campaign to then fill in the rest of your campaigns, right? So in this model, you don't have to add keywords. We're just 100% relying on the auto campaign. So if you are a brand new seller and you haven't done any keyword research and you don't know how to do keyword research, but you know you want to launch some campaigns for your products right away, then this might be a good one for you to do. And then maybe do keyword research afterwards, and you can always add keywords at a later time. But the beauty of this quick builder is that you really don't have to do that. It looks like the lights in here are going to die. So give me 1 second so I can turn this on. It's a problem with these auto lights here in the office. All right. So both templates, whether it be the quick builder or the guided, have 3 different templates that you can then also use to make decisions on your campaigns. So let's see if there's any questions about the standby for lighting. Cool. So now launch is exactly how it sounds. Launch. Now we do give you some information here as far as what each one of these mean. So if you're in launch phase, then you might want to choose the launch template because that might be the one that is going to help you out the most. Now, make sure you read each of these though, because it's not dependent on ACoS. The only one that's dependent on ACoS is the scale version here. So as launch states, products in a launch stage should use ads to get as many impressions as possible. So if you guys have been watching my trainings for a while, you know that I strongly suggest that you look at your first initial campaigns at product launch as for 2 things. It's for branding. It's for getting as many eyeballs as quick as possible onto your product, which is always good for your product to get that branding. And then it's also for the data that you get. So if you've got some keywords that are driving a lot of impressions to your brand new product, you're going to be able to then collect that data, see what's working, and then maybe scale it down or scale it up maybe in the next phase, which is why this is kind of in the in stages here, or lifestyle stages, as we call them, life cycle stages. So, but again, be very certain you're aware that when you select this particular one, it's not going to rely on an ACoS target. The goal isn't ACoS target. The goal is to focus on the impressions and get you as many impressions as possible so that you get that data. The scale is the one where you're going to actually put in an ACoS target. So if you're used to creating campaigns with a particular ACoS goal, hopefully at launch, it's really high. Hopefully you're putting in 100% or figuring out your break-even ACoS and putting that in. But if your product is not in launch phase, if this is something that you've been doing for a while and you want to choose scale because you have a particular target ACoS that you know you can achieve, then this is one that you'd want to use. Liquidate is exactly how it sounds. We're going to focus on the inventory. So instead of focusing on ACoS, again, we're just going to focus on the orders. So regardless of how an ACoS is for a particular keyword, we're not going to suggest that you do things to lower that or lower that bid for that high ACoS keyword because it's actually making you sales. The benefit of this is that, let's say you've got a product that just isn't selling, isn't working. It's just taking it. You're just paying storage fees for it. Or you've got a new product, a new version of your product that you want to get out there as quickly as possible. You don't want the old version to be out there while your new version's out there. Again, all you care about that point is sales. So that is the strategy that the algorithm is going to use at those stages. So let me know if that makes sense to you guys. I want to make sure that you understand the differences between these 3, especially the fact that the scale is the primary one that actually does ask you for an ACoS target. So I'm just going to leave this on Liquidate, and I'm going to just add a product. Let's see, let's add an egg rack. And I'm going to just put a test name here. Okay, so that's it. I mean, I selected the quick builder, selected a template, picked a product, and the next phase is Adtomic's going to actually recommend some default bids and max daily budgets for you. So that calculation that you just saw we did on the back end, we looked at the product that you put in, and we did an analysis, and this is the default bid that we're suggesting, $8. And based on that, we're also then suggesting a daily budget of $54. So if you can see, the recommendation here is we recommend aiming for at least 50 clicks a day to get the data that you need, again, especially at launch. But if you don't want to follow these recommendations, you can always change them. You can go higher on the bid. You can go higher. You can go lower on the ACoS. You can be more aggressive. Higher on the daily budget. I do suggest that you try to figure out how much you can afford to spend, especially at launch, so you can make sure you don't shut off during the day. And this calculation really is going to help ensure that you don't you don't do that. So once I either accept these or I make some edits, again, I just click next, and my campaign structures are built. That's it. So if you have used ads before, we have a 3-campaign structure that we use, but here we're seeing 4 campaigns. We're automatically going to build for you an auto, a research, a performance campaign, previously called proven, and we're going to build a product targeting campaign for you. And we do that because, as you know, if you've been running auto campaigns for a while, you're going to get a lot of ASINs. Not only keywords, but Amazon does a great job of finding listings for you to show your product on. Some are good, some are bad. The ones that are good, the ones that are performing for you, you want to be able to put them into a product targeting campaign if you don't already have one. So this structure builds this for you. The other unique thing about this is that once this is activated, it's kind of, everything happens at once. So if the auto campaign, if we find a good performing search term for you, we're going to add it as a broad to the research, and we're going to add it as exact to the performance. So no longer does it have to go through 2 separate steps from the auto campaign as a search term to a keyword, and then another search term here to keyword as previously done before. So, and the reason we do that is because if it's a keyword that's worked well, or search term that's worked well as in the auto campaign, then it most likely will convert for you potentially, definitely as exact. So we definitely want to move it to an exact version of this performance. But we also might be able to leverage that search term or that keyword to find you more search terms. And we can do that by adding it as broad in this research campaign. And then, like I said, on top of that, any good performing ASINs are also going to get rolled into your product targeting campaign. It's not in the campaign structure here, but in our rules section, which maybe I'll have time to share with you guys, you could also have your auto campaign feed ASINs into your sponsored display product targeting campaign. So the quick builder here that we're looking at is just for sponsored product campaigns. So if you're brand registered, then you might want to use the guided builder, which we'll go through next. And that's where you'll see the other campaign types. The rest of this information is basically automation. If you do want automation on, it is pre-checked. If you are brand new to this whole system, I would suggest you maybe turn these off and then come back later on in the edit rules and then make it automated once you've confirmed that it's actually giving you the exact things that you want, right? So, and then the final section here for the quick builder, which is also on the guided, is our, it's kind of it looks bad, but it's not. It's really just us saying, hey, just FYI, this product that you selected here for this campaign group, this is also in these other campaigns. So if you didn't know, if you might have not have been aware that the campaign or the product that you just put into this campaign set is actually in other campaigns as well, you can just pause those here. Now, this doesn't pause the campaign that is listed here. All it does is pause the product in this ad group within the campaign. So if you don't mind, that you're building 4 more campaigns right now, even though you can see 4, this is already in a campaign structure, proven auto research targeting, which is very similar to this structure here. So obviously I'm not going to launch this product group because it already exists. But even if you've got some campaigns down here, let's say you've got a sponsored display, let's say you've got sponsored brands, whatever, you'll see those here too, and that's fine. If you want to run multiple types of auto campaigns, for example, then you might see those here. So you would just go ahead and launch that. But this is just making sure that you're aware. All right, let's see if there's any questions on the quick builder before I go through the guided builder. Jake asks, what kind of recommendations would you make for ad budgets for the Liquidate stage? So I chose Liquidate here, and as you saw, Jake, the budget that was suggested to me was $54. So when you do select max orders, which is the bid algorithm here, we are going to suggest a higher budget because more than likely you are going to spend more to get rid of that inventory really quickly. So ideally, I would have just accepted that budget of 54, but I just lowered it to show you guys that you can do that. But yeah, in general, if you really want to get rid of the stock quickly, you need to have sufficient daily budget to make sure that you don't shut down. Because what we're going to be doing is driving, making sure that the keywords that are driving sales, that you're staying competitive on, right? That you have a high bid on, regardless of the ACoS. Again, we're not looking at the ACoS. All we're doing at this in this model or this algorithm is just saying, this keyword, this many sales. Okay, so let's drive more impressions to that, right? So Richard asks, do existing campaigns created in Helium 10 already update for product targeting? No, they do not. This is why we added this feature. So I can go into the Editable Rules section and show you how you would add product targeting campaigns into the mix. The previous builder looked very similar to this. And then you could also do sponsored brands if you were brand registered. But let's go into the guided builder, and then I can share with you guys how that will work. So the guided builder, again, you can see the templates are the same. You're still going to choose templates based on either builder, either way you do it. The guided builder, though, is if you've done keyword research, then this is where you'd want to go because you're going to be able to add keywords here, right? If you have brand register and you want to do sponsored display or sponsored brands, you'd want to come here because the guided builder is where you're going to see those other campaign types, which will be on the next screen. So I'm going to leave this at scale so you guys can see me enter an ACoS, or actually it's going to suggest an ACoS target for me. Let's look for, and by the way, you guys, the only reason I'm able to see these products in here, this is also new, is because the MWS token is activated. So if you're using any of our tools, really, you want to have your MWS token activated because it opens up so many more capabilities. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't see this. I'd see a prompt saying, hey, add your MWS token. And then I would have to enter the products one at a time, or copy and paste, which was the previous builder. So let's pick a different product. This is a Helium 10 podcast mic. Okay, that's new. So we are selecting scale, which means my focus for this bid algorithm is going to be on ACoS. So as soon as I click next, you can see 30% default is listed there, but Adtomic's calculating this on the back end, and it's suggesting 105% ACoS, which is quite high. But again, this is most likely because this is a brand new product, and we've never done any PPC campaigns for this one before, so that's why it's saying, "Hey, let's be aggressive with this particular one." However, if I don't want to be that aggressive, I can definitely reduce that down. Right? It's not not a problem. But the point is that we're showing you the default ACoS. We're running a calculation on the back end, depending on the product, depending on the template that if it's a guided builder, if it's a quick builder, and then we are suggesting that target ACoS. So here's the next screen. Like I said, if you're brand registered, then which Project X account is, then you have the other options. So another difference with this new builder is that you can build all these campaigns at once. So I'll go ahead and just click on that just so that you guys can see on the next page, I'm actually able to create all three types at one time. If I just wanted to do sponsored products, that's fine. But really, it's kind of cool that you're able to do all these different campaign types on one form. Let's see. It looks like we have another question here from Jake. I've noticed some of the suggested ACoS targets are pretty high in the scale type. It says it's calculated based on the conversion rate range. Is Adtomic pulling actual conversion rate figures for those items to base the ACoS target on? Yes, that is what it should be doing. If it's not doing that, then that's potentially a bug. I do know, and I don't think this is the case for you, Jake, but I do know that if right now, if your MWS token isn't connected and or this might have been corrected yesterday, that the ACoS targets are really, really high because there's nothing for us to check actually. So the ACoS targets end up being high. So Jake, if any of your profiles or anything that uses not MWS connected, then that could be the reason why. If not, then it's something that we can follow up on. Let's see here. Set default bid. Okay, so the previous builder had the default bid and the budget just on its own screen, letting you know what the suggestions were. This is showing the suggestions, here instead. So we want. Can you guys still see me? The light went out again, but I still do have this light active. So let's see. Yeah, you guys can still see me. Apparently we can't get this light fixed in here because it's a lot of money for us to get this auto timer removed. I asked yesterday. So we'll just have to tell Natalie how much fun this is. So we automatically fill in default bid and daily budget for you here, again, by running the calculations in the back. But if you want to change those, you are more than welcome to. So sponsored brand campaign. Oh, so there's the guided builder also gives you the option. If you don't want to include the product targeting campaign, you don't have to. However, I highly suggest it because, again, you're going to get ASINs from this auto campaign directed to that product targeting campaign. And then sponsored brand campaign, you can see, and sponsored display. So if I want to build out the sponsored brand campaign, this is where I would do that. If I clicked on one of these, then I'm going to get all the options that are required to build out a sponsored brand campaign. I don't want to do that because it'll add a whole other form. It'll add a lot of time. If you've got sponsored brand campaigns, it's very similar to the form that ads previously had. It looks very similar to the setup that you did when you clicked on sponsored brands in that creator. Sponsored display, this is new. We did not have sponsored display previously before Adtomic. So this is a new feature. And the great thing about this is that this is, again, a product targeting campaign. We don't have audience targeting campaigns yet, which I highly suggest you do product targeting sponsored display versions anyway. They are much more cost effective. But we do have that added in here now. And like I said, if I were to launch this set, then you would be able to see or add the sponsored display into the editable rules. So I guess I could go through this. I'll show it to you guys. So there's a lot of information here that you're going to want to enter for sponsored brands. I'm pretty sure it's not going to let me click. No, it doesn't let me click next. So I'm going to click out of this, but one thing you guys want to make sure that you do keep in mind until this is changed, if you go back, if you go off the page for whatever reason, you're going to lose all this information. I would like a little bit of a warning to be added, but right now there's nothing there. So make sure if you do go back, or if you do go back to the previous page and come back like I just did, that you save your information, or just be aware that it is not going to be saved for you. So what I'm going to do really quickly, because I just want to go on to the next stage. Let's do launch this time. I'm just going to select the other two campaign types so I don't have to worry about filling out all that sponsored brands. All right. So 1, 2, and there we go. And I'm just going to keep. Yeah, you can see I can click next right now because I don't have any extra information in order to fill out for the sponsored brands, which are great if you can do them. So now that I've got past that, this is where I'm going to add the keywords, whereas in the quick builder, I didn't have to. So if you want to take our suggestions, this is a query run on the back end. This is not from Amazon. So we're doing some keyword research for you right up front if you want to take advantage of that. If you've done your own research, maybe using Magnet or Cerebro ahead of time, you want to enter those here, you can do that. Or if you've done research previously and you want to add a particular list. So let's just add this list from Egg Tray. Yeah, that's perfect. So it's pretty cool. It's much more robust. We're going to give you suggestions, and we're going to give the ability to pull from your list if you've done if you've created one. So when I click next, what I've done here is add research keywords. So this is my research campaign. So the next one, when I click next, it's going to go to the performance keyword. So suggested keywords, I'm just gonna click a couple of these just for fun. And all of these are going to be exact match because, again, this is the performance campaign, and we do want the matches for this campaign to be exact. When I click next, enter an ASIN. Again, this is for the product targeting campaigns. This is for both the product targeting, sponsored product targeting campaign that I opted for or kept in, but this is also the ASINs that are going to be for the sponsored display campaign. So you're going to get dual coverage. If you're familiar with sponsored product targeting campaigns, that's just on the listing in pretty much 2 strips of ads, and the sponsored display product targeting campaigns are all over the place. There's one right above right below the search bar. There's one below the buy box. There's one below the bullets. So even if the ASINs are the same, you're going to get different coverage. So make sure, though, that you're entering. We're not checking the ASINs here. So we're checking to make sure it looks like an ASIN, but you want to make sure that what you're entering here is valid. I'm just typing right now, so I just want to make sure it's 10 digits. It's probably a little bit too much, yeah, because see, this says doesn't let me add. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got to get rid of 4. Right, and now I can add this, but I didn't do any research. So make sure whatever ASIN this is that I just targeted, make sure these ASINs are actually what you want to target. So as soon as I click next, now we then go to the final page, the review page. So as you can see, I got one product. I used the launch lifecycle stage, which means the focus here is going to be on impressions, not ACoS, which is why you see bid algorithm set to max impressions. There's nothing in the target value because we didn't select an ACoS target. You can see over here, they're all named test, which is what I put at the beginning. We've got the auto research, performance, sponsored products, SP, product targeting campaign, and sponsored display, SD, product targeting campaign. If I had added that sponsored brand, you'd also see SB listed in here too as well. And let's see if there's any other questions. Israel is here. How does Adtomic add the ASIN to sponsored display? You add the ASIN to sponsored display. So let's see. That was 2 minutes ago. So yeah, sponsored display campaigns, you have to enter the ASINs. So if you enter the wrong ASINs, then you're targeting the wrong listing. So that might be just a question about how sponsored display campaigns work. There are previous episodes that actually 2 episodes ago, I went over all the campaign types. So you might want to take a look at that one if you want to see what sponsored display, how they work, and where those particular campaign ad types are located. Last question about Freedom Ticket. When will the Freedom Ticket be updated with Adtomic? Very soon, this week, actually. So if you want pro trainings right now, though, if you don't want to go through Freedom Ticket, that is available. You just click on the Learn button on the dashboard. The Learn button is available everywhere, actually, in Adtomic, except for the campaign builder I just noticed, which is fine. But there are pro trainings there that you can watch, and we'll be adding more this week, and then we'll also be including those into Freedom Ticket. But the just to be clear, the concepts that are explained in Freedom Ticket for PPC they're all applicable. So even though I'm saying ads and versus Adtomic, maybe in those Freedom Ticket trainings, it doesn't change the concept of what you can do. And in Adtomic, you can actually even do more than some of the strategies that I go over in those Freedom Tickets. So lastly, and this leads into the questions about the editable rules. This is just the kind of the rule guideline or guides that we've set in place for both finding new keywords, which we call keyword promotion, and negative. So what this is saying is that for this campaign type, which I called test, these are the rules regarding keyword promotion. So that's everything that's going to say Let's look for search terms in this auto campaign. If we find good, keywords that are getting really good impressions, right? Then we're going to promote those into the research campaign as broad, and we're going to promote them into the performance campaign as exact. And if we find really, really good ASINs in here that are also getting really high impressions, now hopefully you're getting sales along with those impressions too. But again, that's not the goal. But we're going to suggest that ASIN to be moved into the product targeting ad group here. So all this is saying is these are inputs, these are the campaigns and the ad groups, and this is the result. So we're going to look for search terms in these ad groups. We're not adding keywords to the auto campaign because you can't, so that's not applicable. But we are adding them as broad match into the research campaign. We're adding them as exact match into the performance campaign, and we're adding ASINs in general. This has no match type; it's just an ASIN. But we're basically saying we're going to add those performing ASINs into here. Now, we do have a search term isolation set automatically here. If you wanted to change that, you could do that in the editable rules. But effectively, the goal of these structures is to drive performing keywords into this performance campaign so that you can really focus on this one. And the one way to do that is by when we do find those auto campaign search terms, or we do find those research campaign search terms that are doing really well, we make them negative in the campaign that they're coming from or coming out of. That does help to then focus that keyword or keywords that we're moving into that performance campaign. And that's it. This is the same warning label, just letting me know, hey, Gee's Chicken Coop Egg Rack is already in all these different campaigns. Do I want to pause any of these products in these ad groups, not the campaigns? And if not, if I don't worry about it, I'm just going to click launch. So it's 10:40. If you guys got additional questions on any of this, let's put them in the comment section here. Let's see. What about video ads? Can Adtomic help with video campaigns? You cannot create your video campaigns in the tool, but you can still optimize them, and you'll still get keyword bid suggestions on them, just like you always have. So sponsored display video ads sponsored brands video ads have been in Adtomic for months, been in ads for months, which means they're also in Adtomic. So yeah, even though you can't build them in our tool because that requires uploading, and then there's requirements that Amazon looks at to make sure that your video meets its requirements. So there's a lot of functions that you're still going to have to do in Seller Central. We're not trying to completely make every single feature and function that you can do in Seller Central in this tool. That's not what this is. This is a PPC management tool, right? Not necessarily a campaign creation tool. Although we've just upgraded that heavily. Sponsor brand video campaigns, build them in Seller Central, optimize them, and manage them in our tool. You're going to get bid suggestions on them, right? You're going to be able to add them to different rules. You're still going to be able to do a lot more with that campaign once it's created in our tool than you would be just still working in Seller Central alone. Let's see. Elaine asks, is there a coupon or special offer to join Diamond? Elaine, you might want to check your emails. I believe emails went out today that included that there's some offers there. If not, you'll see, I believe, also on social media, you're going to see some in this week. You're going to see some offers that are out there for this as well. And even when you check the landing page, actually, you might see an offer there on the Adtomic landing page. So when you guys first, if you've been using ads, for example, and you maybe just go to the dashboard for the first time, what you're going to see is a landing page, and the landing page is letting you know that this is it's really not ads anymore. It's a brand new tool. So you'll get that warning page first, and then you have to basically accept it. Until you do, the dashboard and analytics are the only pages that you can see. Everything else will be locked here. So we want to make sure that you understand you're looking at it. Even though it looks exactly like ads, it's actually being run on a completely different back end. So we made it look exactly like ads on purpose. So it'd be obviously easier for people to use that are already using it. But it's actually a completely new platform, even though it looks identical. So let's see. Other question. Azim, how can I measure the metrics of lack of conversion? Even my listing is optimized and images are also well designed. Please also make an episode on how to cater the issue of conversion. That is a great suggestion, Azim. I will definitely put that into the list of topics that we've been asked, which reminds me, by the way, and I did not do this at the beginning, and I do apologize because I was running late. Typically, if you don't get your questions answered here, or if you have ideas for topics like Azim just had, you can use this email here that you now see on the screen, ppca@helium10.com. This is where you can send in between episodes, which are every 2 weeks, except for this month, they're every Tuesday. But if you have topic ideas, make sure you send them there. If you've got, again, questions that you didn't get answered in this episode, you can put them there. And then typically, what I usually do is answer those questions ahead of time, and then I go into the content. But there was a lot to share today. There's still a lot more to share because I do want to get into the editable rules, so you can kind of connect the campaign rules that I just went through along with the editable rules. But we will try to get those questions answered as best as possible, and I definitely do appreciate getting topic ideas like that, Azim. Brett asks, any placement automation bidding features? Sorry, I came in late if you cover it already. Placement bidding automation. No, but that is definitely something that we are considering. We are looking at what is the thing before that we're looking at is actually automation for your auto campaigns, that being the default bid and maybe even the 4 targeting levers that are used in auto campaigns. So that will definitely come first before placement automation. But if you are using placement bidding, we do see that, we do get that information because Amazon, obviously that data is reflected by Amazon, the results and suggestions and data that, so we do see that. So it still does get taken into account. But yeah, creating automated bidding for placement bidding is something that definitely is on my list. Ryan asks, how does Adtomic handle multiple product variations with different retail price points in the same campaign? For instance, we'll adjust the bid for each ASIN separately to meet a target ACoS. So no, it doesn't, because you can work with your variations in several different ways. So there are generally 2 schools of thoughts, and which I'm sure you know, Ryan, but for everyone, is if you've got variations, then have a campaign each, right? Have a campaign each for each variation just to test it. You get more real estate on Amazon. Your one product with all the different multiple variations can get seen, all the different colors, or maybe the multiple sizes can get maybe displayed on one page in Amazon. If you put all those variations into one campaign, which you can do as well, but the suggestion there is really to look at the data and isolate the version or the variation that does actually outperform the other ones, and then focus on that one, because the high performing one is still driving users to the page, and they can select the other variations if they want, but you're no longer spending bad budget on those other variations that might not perform as well. So the difference between doing either one is more of a how aggressive do you want to be? How much budget do you have that you do want to spend? Now, within the editable rules, which I guess I will get into next, yes, you can create, if you have, I guess, an ad group with an ASIN in it, you could manipulate the rules to have separate ACoS targets. So it is, but really structurally what you're talking about again is, one campaign and then an ad group with one variation. So not having all the variations in one single ad group. So let's go into the editable rules. And also, this is also on the ad manager. Most of the substantial differences are on the ad manager page. So these 4 columns here are updated or new. Bid algorithm, what does that mean? What do any of these things mean? If you want to know what they mean, just please use our tooltips. I write these and I hope that you use them. It does explain what all these things are. But you should be able to follow this because we just went through the campaign builder. So if I launch a product in max impressions, right? It looks like the microphone, brand new microphone product here in Project X is on max impressions. So let's say I do that for 4 weeks or a month, really, because I just want to get it out there. I'm in launch phase. You see here again, target value. There's no target value because this 30% is the default across the campaign. However, there's nothing here because our focus is on impressions. But if I wanted to change this to target ACoS, I can do that. And this is our scale, right? So as soon as Bradley's done collecting the data he wants on this particular product, then he's going to come in here and switch this to target ACoS. That's going to switch the algorithm to scale, which we saw on the campaign builder, and then he's going to set a default target. So, default ACoS or target ACoS. So that's what these 2 columns basically just are. They allow you to change the bid algorithm at a campaign level, change the ACoS at a campaign level as well, and you can also automate those keyword bid rules. So the bid algorithm, the target value, and the automate button all dictate your keyword bid suggestions. So everything that you're going to see in this column, in this folder, bids, right? So not the new keywords, not the negative keywords. That's actually, you have to click through. But these 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, are all for bid suggestions, right? Or keyword bid suggestions, ASIN bid suggestions, either one. That this is where you're going to manipulate that information. The number that you see here just designates how many rules are currently tied to the particular campaign. All right. So whether or not you've used our builder, built your campaigns here in Adtomic, which will add our rules automatically to them that I just went through with you, or if you're brand new to the platform and you're uploaded all your campaigns and you want to add your rule sets to them, this is how you do it. You can do the template for the keyword bids using these 3 columns. If you want to automate it, you can. Again, I suggest you start the rules first and then check, manually check the suggestions page to make sure that it's giving you what you want. If you're satisfied that it is, then come back and then turn on the automate function for those keyword bid suggestions. So before I hop into that form, let's just make sure there is any other questions here. Muhammad asks how to adjust placement bidding if we want to show our ad more on top of search page, less on product pages and rest of search. You just change it, Muhammad. Watch my PPC tip of the week last week. I actually show you do that in Seller Central. So you don't do that here in Adtomic. So watch my PPC tip of the week, which went out last week, and actually placement bidding is that tip. You have to go into your campaign and you have to find placement bidding, and then you can adjust it up or down. So Null asks, there are so many ad types now, sponsored ads, yes, sponsored products, placement is just where the ad is seen, right? That's what, when we say placement, it's where is this ad placed within Amazon. Should we run these all together or one at a time? If we have a budget $30 a day, how do we divide this budget between all ad types? If you've only got a budget of $30 a day, Sonal, that's one campaign. That's maybe the auto campaign. You need a bigger budget. You can't run all the different product types or campaign types on just a total budget of $30 a day. That's not going to get you the information that you want. You might want to use the quick builder and let the auto campaign again dictate, the keywords that are going to be funneled into the other campaigns. But if you're just starting out, you only have access to sponsored products anyways. You only have access to the other templates if you you only have access to the other campaign types if you're brand registered. So if you're not brand registered yet, you don't even need to worry about that. I would just use the quick builder and then try to get your $30 a day budget. So let's see. So again, got 6 minutes. I'll go over it a little bit today since I was late, guys. So I wanted to show you the editable rules. Again, these dictate keyword bid suggestions. Let's just click on this auto. So if once I click on it, if there are rules already associated with it, I'm gonna see them here, right? So like this number said, there's 4. So there's a couple of positive rules dictated with this, and there's a couple of negative rules. If I want to add additional rules, I could do that. But actually, I want to get a clean campaign. That's a sponsored brand. It's a product targeting campaign here. So I want to show you guys how, even though I clicked on that particular cog for this campaign, in it, even though it says rules for campaigns, I can actually on a blank page like this, I can create a rule for any of these campaigns. So what we're trying to share with you guys here is that rules are kind of not necessarily tied to campaigns as much anymore. You can create rules and then assign different ad groups to them if you want, independent of each other. You can also have multiple campaigns running into the same ad group. And that, Ryan, that is an answer to your question. So you're not limited anymore to one campaign, one ad group. So if you've got one campaign with multiple ad groups and each of those ad groups has one of your variations, you can create custom rules to those different ad groups. That is something I'll probably cover in an advanced training that will take an entire 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So stay tuned to the future, the next pro trainings, the next Taco Tuesdays for that. So enter a meaningful name. So, what are you doing? Are you creating new keywords, or you're creating, are you looking for bad search terms to make negative, or are you looking for good search terms to make into keywords? So I always say, whatever the rule is, make it equivalent to the rule type that you're creating. I forgot what I clicked on, so let's just say egg tray. I'm just going to say egg. There's a lot of egg products in here. So egg, new keywords, right? That way I know when I'm looking at this rule for sure that it's for new keywords. Now, if you are used to our previous form when you were creating campaigns, as well as our editable rules form, you had to add an order threshold and a max ACoS. So typically, when looking for brand new keywords, I would always suggest that you at least 2 sales, because that for sure, if it's got 2 sales, it's probably a valid keyword or ASIN. Max ACoS, I was always really super aggressive with this because I wanted to see as many different conversions as possible. So, let's just say I would put this at 80%. The beauty of this is that you no longer have to think about that. We already have some algorithms running in the background that are going to make those decisions for you on the order threshold and the max ACoS. So if I wanted to, I could just leave these blank and it'll automatically use the profile level default. So I could even hide that if I want. Automate button, again, if this was a pre-existing rule that I wanted to turn on automation, I would go ahead and do that there. But yeah, this is the difference is that you can now, I'm just going to put egg since I search for egg. So again, I don't remember which campaign I clicked on to get which cog I clicked on. I think it was this one because I wanted to click an empty one. But I can choose, again, as many different ad groups as I want to build into this. Now, the one current limitation, though, is that you only see 10 campaigns. So if you, based on your search result, if you only see 10 campaigns, then you might want to change you want to add another keyword into it that'll only show you maybe the campaign type that you wanted. So maybe I didn't see the display campaign in the previous one. In fact, I think I only saw one display campaign in the previous results. So We're only showing you 10, but just make sure you drill down to see the other campaigns in the ad groups. So creating a new keyword rule. Typically what we're going to do is I'm just going to look for an auto campaign. Immediately I'm told you've selected an auto campaign. Great. Now select a manual campaign so that we can drive keywords to from that auto campaign. So I'm just going to go ahead and just keep adding to this. I'm going to be looking for research. These products might be completely different though, so keep that in mind. I'm just randomly clicking because they have the word egg in them. So you're going to want to know ahead of time what campaign structures you want to build so that you're selecting them, correctly here. But another campaign type that I want, let's see if there's a proven, perfect, which is what we call our it's what's called performance now. Now, even though these are in reverse order, it doesn't matter. These rules are all set to do the same thing. All I need to do is select the match types. So auto campaign, it's not going to get any new keywords. But it is going to add a exact is what's going to go into the proven campaign, and broad is what's going to go into the research campaign. If I wanted to select different match types for whatever reason, whatever kind of campaign structure I'm creating, I can do that, but I have to select at least one. I can select also all three if I wanted to. So I had to select at least one. Now, again, this is the search term isolation. If I wanted to activate that, I could here. If this was an existing rule set, for example, if it was a campaign that I built in ads, and like I said, these rules are preset, I could come into the edit rule section and I can just unclick them, right? So real quickly, the other thing, let's see, product targeting. So whether this was display, whether this was product targeting, I'm adding that as well to the mix, and you can see it went right there. So I'm going to click off this to make sure this auto campaign is driving ASINs to this product targeting campaign. And then let's also add a display campaign. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that just says test. So now that's there. And again, I'll have to make sure that this is clicked off here to make sure that the sponsored display. So all at once, these rules are affecting each other. The auto campaign is feeding into basically all the other campaigns. The research campaign is feeding into the proven campaign. So you build all these at once, and these are, this is the new keyword rule now set for this particular product. I don't remember which egg product it was, but it was an egg product. So obviously I'm not going to create those. Let's see if there are additional questions. All right, let's close TACoS Tuesday with a shout out to some of our influencers who shared their Adtomic swag on social. Yes. Yes, so thank you for that, Sharon, even Lauren, Isabella Ritz. Thank you guys for sharing that. We do have additional launch things planned. So in fact, in 1 week from today, same time, same place, we are going to do an official launch party. So make sure you guys do come back for that. Again, it's not going to be a Taco Tuesday. It's going to be a launch party. We're going to have additional people on talking about the new platform and talking about some features of functionality. But we're mostly giving away some prizes. If you don't have access to Adtomic, you might want to hold on and wait to see if you can win one of those. I know we're giving away something pretty big, like a diamond plan. And if you have a diamond plan already, if you win that, you get reimbursed for an entire year. Some ad credits. So there's some really cool things, including some of the swag that you just saw shared by those lovely people that we sent those to. So thank you for that. And if you guys want to win any of that swag, make sure you tune in next week. So we're going to close out today because I want to leave some things left to talk about in the upcoming weeks. So I just went over the new keyword creation. So if you guys tune in next time, then I will then go over how to do the negative keyword rules as well. But please tune in next week. We definitely have a lot of exciting things planned for this launch party that we've been working on for a while, and we want to make sure that you guys fully understand it. Again, there are some pro trainings available. For that question earlier, just click on the Learn button here, and you'll be able to get access to the current pro trainings. If I click on it now, it's going to autoplay, but just don't. Just take a look at that, and we will also have them in our knowledge base. So if you don't want to look at them within the Learn button, then you can take a look at them over here in the support section, and you can read actually our tutorials as well that we currently do have for Adtomic. Those things are live right now. So I think we have the launch party link there in the comment section. So if you guys want to save that, that is the link that we'll be using for the launch party next week. Again, at 10 o'clock. It'll probably be an hour. It might be a little bit longer, depending on how it goes and the guests that we have that are coming on and how long it takes to give away some of the prizes that we are doing. But make sure that you stay tuned and you come back for that. If you do have additional questions, then definitely send them to the AMA email, and maybe we'll try to answer that again at the next session. Well, actually, no, apologies. Next week is the launch party, so I will not be answering questions ahead of time. So it would be the week following that we would answer those questions. And no, you do not get a response from this email. Again, this email is inbox only. It's you guys setting us the questions, setting us up for the next events, the next trainings, as well as giving us ideas. So we always do love to see those questions in there and topics, but we're not able to respond to all of them, unfortunately. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Yeah, Velma, I see your question. That's not something that we can answer. That's here. That's not anything to do with Adtomic or PPC. So make sure you try to get that answer to that question somewhere. But make sure you guys, again, if you got any questions, if you've got any issues with Adtomic in particular, feel free to also use our support email, which we could probably flash on the screen as well. Always, we're looking at anything that you guys might see that and maybe there's something that you want to add. You can use the support at helium10.com email address. And as well as on the main dashboard as well of Helium 10, I know that there's a new feature, submit feature functionality that we recently added that you can also use to maybe submit requests for the tool. That's it for this episode. Again, make sure you come back next week at 10 o'clock, and I promise we will figure out the lighting, because I don't like looking super shiny like I do right now. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining.